Hello, welcome to Firearms of America, and today, as you guys can see, I have another pair of Columbia boots for review, and this is Columbia Wayfinder mid-size hiking boot. Alright, let's get into the review. If you don't have time to watch the whole 10-15 minutes of this review, let me tell you guys, I absolutely love this boot. This is a newer boot on Amazon, haven't been there for a long time, so there aren't a lot of ratings, even though about 40 something ratings and almost 5 stars, so people do like them. But nevertheless, compared to some other Columbia boots, it's really, some of them they have thousands, 2,000 of reviews. So to kind of give you a brief overview of the boot, very comfortable, I absolutely love it, very lightweight, a little bit less than $90, so definitely on the budget side, on affordable side, true to the size. So if you're looking at it, if you like it, get it, you're not gonna be disappointed. And if you do have time to watch the whole review, let's get into it. As some of you already know, this review is specifically for my ultimate survival boots section. Basically, if this was your last boot that you were wearing, or you had it in your house and you put on when something bad happened, and you had to walk, run, fight, climb, do whatever necessary to do to survive in this boot, would this be a good boot to survive in? Well, let's get into it. How do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Criteria number 1, of course, one of the most important, comfort level. And like I said, I absolutely do love the comfort level of this boot. Now, in order to test the comfort level, I do a 3-mile run, no stopping, no, for all my boots, and a 5-mile walk right after the run. Again, no stopping, no breaks in between. The total wear time is about 7 to 8 hours. And this boot I absolutely love. Running in it is very easy. Walking is obviously even easier. And there are a few factors that contribute to that comfort level. The very first one, of course, is the weight. Like I said, they're very lightweight, and let's find out exactly how lightweight they are. This is size 10. And 14.9, which is very impressive for a mid-size hiking boot. Definitely very impressive weight, 14.9. And I always say, whenever it comes to the weight of the boot, as long as you have something less than 20 ounce, you should be pretty good. Above 20 ounce is that where you start feeling that extra weight, especially whenever you're running. After about a mile and a half, you start feeling fatigued whenever you have heavier boots. This is not the case. 14.9, very impressive. Another factor that contributes to the comfort level is the inner sole. And here, it's a generic Columbia inner sole, nothing crazy, nothing special. Let me take it out so you can have a visual of it. And let's see. There you go. So as you can see, it does have vents for some ventilation. Pretty good. It does have a nice shape to the heel, which is good. It kind of holds your heel in place, especially whenever you're running. Pretty good. And of course, there are some airflow vents going on the bottom as well. Not much cushioning to it. It feels pretty much the same. It's more on the firmer side. And on the inside of the boot, after you take out the inner sole, there is no cushioning absolutely at all. It goes straight into the hard rubber. So overall, these boots do have a firmer feel. Not to the point where it is uncomfortable, but whenever you're running, you want to concentrate on running properly, without putting too much stress on your ankles, on your knees, without putting stress on your heel. Because if you do, you're definitely going to feel that impact, because there isn't really a lot of cushion. Now, another factor that contributes to the comfort level is, of course, the cushioning inside of the toe box. And this one is very nice and soft. As you can see, even from the top, the toe is soft. But from the inside, it does have an extra layer of cushioning as well, which is very nice. It feels really good. Of course, the bottom sole the flexibility of it definitely makes a difference whenever it comes to the comfort level. And as you can see here, the bottom sole is very nice and flexible. Overall, I do like the comfort level of the boot. Overall, I do like it. The only thing is whenever you're running, make sure you're running properly because there isn't a lot of cushioning going on. Okay, so let's move on to the criteria number 2, which is proofing and protection. These boots are waterproof. Yes, they do feature Columbia's own Outdry waterproofing system. Nothing crazy. It's not Gore-Tex, nothing really special, but however it does the job well. And as you can see, there is a gusseted tongue, which I kind of wish they did this gusseting a little bit higher, because I think they could have gotten at least 1 extra inch of waterproofing height. I don't know why they didn't utilize it, but still pretty good. Probably about, let's see, probably about 4.5 inches of the height for the waterproofing that you have. Pretty good. Now, whenever it comes to the protection, there isn't really much. As I've mentioned, the toe is soft. It looks like it has something going on here to give you protection, but this is actually very, very soft. So really, anything falls on your toe, you definitely gonna feel it. This no protection at all, pretty much. Same thing with ankles. There is a decent amount of cushioning, padding, pretty good. More than your typical boot, especially with tactical boots. A lot of them, for some reason, they leave this one thin, very thin. In hiking boots, they do that for extra support, but this support also gives you extra protection, so pretty good. But still pretty soft. Keep that in mind. And of course, your heel has a little bit of that reinforcement. Now, the fabric itself is just it's not leather or anything like that. It's just regular textile. So it's on the softer and penetratable side of things. Okay, so done with the proofing and protection. Let's move on to the quality and the design features. Criterion number 3. Like I said, these boots are newer on Amazon. They showed up not too long ago, so they don't have a lot of ratings. But I am sure that the more this boot is discovered, the more ratings it's gonna get, because it really is good. It really is good, and the price is definitely good. Whenever it comes to the overall quality of Columbia boots, I personally have a few of Columbia boots. One of my main top choice, one of the top 3 ultimate survival boots that I have reviewed on this channel is actually a Columbia boot. So I am a big fan of the brand. Never had any kind of problems, and really, you know, I reviewed so many Columbia boots, and I don't think I yet had one that I looked at and I said, you know what, this they could have done, you know, not really good compared to others. They all have been good. I don't know how Columbia does it, but they do it. Now, whenever it comes to the design features, I wanted to mention here a few things, because this is really one of my main complaints about this boot, is the lacing system. As you guys know, I am not a fan of these material fabric lacing hooks. Why? Because they make it really hard to tighten and loosen the boots, because the lace tends to catch on this fabric. It doesn't slide through them very easily. The lacing, the strings themselves are actually very good. I do like the thickness of them and the quality, but only I wish Columbia implemented either metal or just heavy duty plastic hooks instead. Would have been completely different animal. But these fabric hooks, it just takes forever to tighten them in this area. Here on the top, as you can see, there is two pairs of closed hooks, and they are heavy duty plastic, and strings slide through them without any problems. But here in this area, I wish Columbia they implemented the same plastic hooks. Okay, so now with that, let's move on to the criteria number 4, outsole traction and stability. And here we talk obviously about the outsole, and as you can see, it features a popular OMNI-GRIP from Columbia, and I really do like this outsole. It's very unique in a way. It kind of looks cool. It has a cool design to it, but also practicality. Now, in order to test the stability and traction of the outsole, I test them my boots on a variety of different surfaces. I start from older asphalt to the newer tarmac, and then I get on the sand. There's a lake nearby my house where you can find dry sand, a lot of it, and then the wet sand, wet grass, dry grass, trail surface, rocky road, and then of course some flat surfaces, tile, marble. Now these boots perform well on all of these surfaces, except a little bit slippery on the wet grass, because these boots, as you can see, are more on the flatter side. They do have a good amount of aggression, but more on the flatter side. Overall, still do perform good on wet grass, still do, but not as good as if there was a little bit more aggression. But I think that's definitely fine with me, because they are very nicely balanced overall. Like I said, they literally on everything else, they perform absolutely amazing, including the flat surfaces. Now, whenever it comes to the ice and the snow, this will be slippery on the ice. Because you really do need a lot of aggression whenever it comes to the ice, so that you can definitely get that grip. Whenever it comes to the snow, though, they are definitely fine on the snow, so no problems at all. Let's talk about the criteria number 5, temperature. Now, these are definitely more for, a warmer climate, not really warmer climate, but more of a, not really designed for colder climate, because they don't have any kind of insulation. Anything else, your typical spring, summer, fall, they will be great, but in the winter they will be pretty cold. You might be able to get away with some nicely insulated socks with these boots in the winter time. I mean, you can walk through snow in these boots, because they do have a good amount of grip for the snow, not for the ice though, but for the snow they do have a decent amount of grip. They're not gonna sink in, and of course they are waterproof. So if you are looking at these boots as your winter option, keep in mind you might be a little bit cold, unless you get some nicely insulated socks. All right, let's move on to the criteria number 6 very quickly. Sizing, absolutely no problems with the sizing. They do run true to the size. If you are buying yourself a first pair of boots, hiking, tactical, whatever it is, I always recommend getting half a size bigger than your normal shoe size to get yourself a little bit of that extra space in the toe box. Whenever you're running, whenever you're going down the hill, it really helps to prevent your toe from banging on the front of the toe box. That can really fatigue you really quickly. Just really quickly. So you want to make sure you have a little bit of that extra. Just a good advice that I got. Okay, so let's move on to the criteria number 7, the balance of application. Basically, if this really was your last ultimate survival boot and you were wearing it and something bad happened, and you put it on, would this be a good boot? I think it's a really great option. I think it's really definitely in my top 20 of all the ultimate survival boots that I reviewed. It is lightweight, it is waterproof, it has sufficient amount for me of protection, and really this one comes down to personal preference. Do you want more protection, or do you want more lightness? Because obviously with lightness you have less restriction of the movement, right? You can run faster, you can move around faster, it's easier to walk longer, it's easier to climb, fight, do whatever whenever you have less weight on you. But with less weight, obviously you have less protection. No toe reinforcement, no ankle reinforcement, and stuff like that. So what is it? Do you want more protection, compromising weight, or do you prefer lightness? Really up to you. But for me, I do prefer lightness, so this is really personally great option. I love it. The only thing I wish that they did differently is the lacing system, just to give you that speed of tightening, because it really matters. If you're not wearing these boots and they're sitting in your house, in your closet, something bad happens, you want to make sure you can put them on quickly. I think that's very important. But other than that, I think absolutely amazing option. All right, let's move on to the criteria number 8, which is the price. And like I mentioned in the beginning, they are $90, $89.99 to be specific, currently on Amazon. I think definitely great price. I mean, Columbia, that's one of the things that they can do very nicely. They make a nice boot, and then they sell it for an amazing affordable price. Really, anyone can afford to get themselves. $89.99, definitely a fair price for this boot. You are getting a lot. And whenever it comes to competition in this price range, there really isn't that much. You know, if you're going more into the hundreds, you know, 120, 110. Now we do have other players in the game like Solomon with their cheaper boots. Pretty good options. However, below 100, it's pretty hard to compete with Columbia in that price range. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about these boots. Would you get them for your hiking boots? Would you get them for your ultimate survival? If you do have any requests for reviews, definitely drop them in the comments below. I always look out for those and add them to my to-do list. If I come around those boots, I get them first as a priority to make a review on. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was Firearms of America. I'll see you guys in the next video.